Okay, let's dive in. We're tackling a match that, well, people are definitely still talking about it. The triple threat main event, WrestleMania 41, Night 1, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Roman Reigns. Wow.
Yes.
It was something else. Not just a match, like you said, more like a whole story unfolding with some major twists.
Totally.
Even before the bell rang, right? The whole Paul Heyman situation, that was the big question mark hanging over everything. Heyman managing Punk, but with that history with Reigns, I mean, that alone created so much intrigue right from the get-go.
It really did. And the entrances, they leaned into that big time. They weren't just walkouts. They were setting the stage, you know?
Yeah, take Rollins. That was pure Rollins spectacle, wasn't it?
Uh-huh. The flamethrowers, the whole blackout thing.
And then the reveal, the white gear under the black robe.
Yeah.
Very dramatic. And one report mentioned the graphic they showed, his whole WrestleMania history, 12 times.
Yeah. And pointing out his debut with Reigns back in the Shield days. It's like right there visually connecting their past. Powerful stuff.
It really is. And then you contrast that with Roman.
Totally different vibe. Just walking out alone, carrying the Ulafala himself.
Yeah. Which, as the commentators pointed out, Heyman usually does that, right?
Exactly. So right away you're thinking, okay, what does this mean? Is he distancing himself because Heyman's with Punk? And then the screen's dropping down, showing the NOI family, legacy, pressure, all that.
And then
Punk's entrance was like a journey in itself. That pre-recorded video package was brilliant.
that old debut promo footage, cutting to now. Genius. And using this Fireburns, man, that took you back.
It really did. But then the switch, right into Living Color playing Cult of Personality live.
Just like WrestleMania 29. And who was with him then?
Heyman. It's such a deliberate callback. Like history repeating, but also not quite. In the graphic, yeah, summary mentioned this, noting it was his first WrestleMania main event since coming back, his last appearance being way back in 2013. Huge moment for him.
Massive. And, oh, that little detail. Reigns putting the Ulafala down in the corner himself.
Yeah, subtle. But it adds to that whole picture of him being alone in this, maybe needing to stand on his own against both Rollins and Punk, and maybe even Heyman.
Okay, so entrance is done. Incredible stage set. Let's get into the ring. What about the early action?
Well, right away, Punk seemed like he wanted to play mind games. One report said he rolled out almost immediately, went over to Heyman, just to get under Reigns' skin, you know.
And Reigns looked visibly annoyed by it, yeah.
You bet. And Rollins, being Rollins, saw an opening, tried to kind of suggest teaming up with Reigns against Punk. Smart, given their history.
Leverage that animosity, yeah. But Roman wasn't having it, was he?
Not for a second. The play-by-play was clear. Immediate uppercut to Rollins. Alliance over before it began. Shows you that even with Heyman over there, the Rollins-Reigns conflict runs deep.
Definitely. So it just dissolved into chaos pretty quickly then.
Oh, yeah. Total brawl. All the sources talk about the weapons coming out early. Chairs, garbage cans.
Ah, the garbage can. It got a workout, didn't it?
It really did. Punk suplexing Rollins onto it, using it on Rollins' face. Pretty brutal, opportunistic stuff. Typical triple threat mayhem. And even Reigns took flight. A running dive over the barricade into the crowd area. The energy was just insane from the start.
Wow. And signature moves started flying too, I assume?
Oh, yeah. Rollins with his dives, Reigns hitting those big power bombs, him putting both guys through announce tables at different points. Huge power display.
Making a statement.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And Punk trying for the Anaconda Vice, hitting the GTS. The classic stuff was all there.
Lots of kickouts, right? I saw that mentioned.
So many near falls. Like almost constantly, multiple sources talked about it. The resilience was off the charts. One commentary bit even questioned if it was maybe too many kickouts.
Yeah, overkill.
Kinda, but they kind of walked it back, saying it did ramp up the drama.
Yeah.
Made you feel like anyone could actually win at any moment. Really sold the hatred between them, how much it meant.
Makes sense. And there was that moment, I think a written summary highlighted it, where Rollins had Reigns down.
Oh yeah, that was pure cinema. Rollins leaning in, yelling at Reigns.
Bringing up Heyman, bringing up Moxley, Dean Ambrose. Trying to twist the knife.
Exactly. Trying to exploit that broken trust from the Shield days. Maybe trying one last time to forge some kind of temporary alliance, planting those seeds of doubt about Heyman.
Playing on all that history, but it didn't really work, did it?
Yeah, didn't lead to anything solid. Which, you know, brings us right back to the central figure, Paul Heyman. Just him being there with Punk. You could see it eating at Reigns.
The commentary picked up on that. Reigns looking disgusted.
Absolutely. They used that exact word, disgusted. And then, you know, everyone's just waiting. waiting for Heyman to make his move with that chair. You just knew something was coming.
The suspense was killing you.
Totally. And then the payoff. Wow, that whole sequence was just chef's kiss betrayal.
Yeah.
Heyman slides the chair to Punk.
And you think, okay, here we go. Punk gets the advantage.
Bam, low blow to Punk. Heyman turns on him immediately. The shock on commentary was real, like genuine disbelief.
And then Reigns must have thought, okay, Heyman's back with me. Grabs the chair, goes after Punk. Then turns his attention to Rollins. Is about to hit him with the chair.
Only for Heyman to hit him with a low blow. Double cross.
Insane. The commentary must have lost it.
Oh, they did. Pure chaos. Calls it audacious, unbelievable, a betrayal, layered on betrayal.
And then the final twist.
Heyman hands the chair to Rollins.
Yeah.
Of all people. Seals the deal on this completely unexpected alliance.
Rollins doesn't hesitate. Chair shot to Reigns, curb stomp, 1, 2, 3, done.
And the visual afterward. Heyman raising Rollins' hand. Just standing there together. That picture says it all. Massive shift.
Absolutely unbelievable. So after the dust settled, what was the general feeling, the post-match analysis?
Well, the consensus looking across the reports and commentary seemed to be that this main event it saved night one for a lot of people.
Saved it. So night one was maybe a bit meh before that.
That seemed to be the feeling, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit mid was a term used. But this match, while maybe a bit overbooked or chaotic for some tastes,
Yeah, you could see that argument.
it undeniably delivered the drama, delivered the story progression, the big shocking moment. It got people talking, engaged.
And Rollins pinning Reigns, that's huge in itself.
Massive. Reigns has been, practically unbeatable for so long. Taking a pin like that, it's a major statement. Raises a ton of questions.
For sure.
And Meltzer's review really highlights the crowd reaction here.
What did he say about that?
That even though Rollins and Heyman basically turned heel, became the bad guys, the crowd kind of cheered Heyman's move.
That is wild.
Yeah, they saw that switch, that new alliance with Rollins, as the biggest, most interesting thing that happened. Wild, right? Why do you think they reacted like that?
Maybe just the sheer audacity of it. Betraying Punk and Reigns, it just blew up the whole situation. Total anarchy.
Yeah, it completely changed the dynamic. And Meltzer, he gave it 4 3/4 stars. Super high rating.
Wow. He praised the hot crowd, right? And using the big moves effectively.
Yeah, said the atmosphere was electric. Acknowledged interference is kind of expected in big main events, but still high praise.
But the focus was really on that Heyman turn.
Overwhelmingly, according to Meltzer. That was the story coming out of it.
What's next?
Well, obviously, Rollins and Heyman together. That opens up so many doors. A feud with Reigns, now fueled by this ultimate betrayer by Heyman, seems almost certain, right?
You'd think so. Revenge has to be on Reigns' mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Rollins still has unfinished business with Punk. That hasn't gone away.
Right.
Plus, some are already speculating. Could Rollins, with Heyman's backing, go after Jey Uso and the World Heavyweight Championship?
Ooh, interesting angle. This one match really did just shake everything up, didn't it?
Completely reshuffle the deck, yeah.
Okay, so wrapping this up, this deep dive really showed a match that was, yes, full of action, but the core was that Heyman drama. The allegiance questions, the betrayals, that was the real story.
Couldn't agree more. The physicality was intense, but it was the psychological game. The shocking cane turns Heyman turning on Punk, then turning on Reigns, and ending up with Rollins that made it unforgettable.
That final image of Rollins and Heyman.
Yeah, nobody saw that coming.
Nope. That's the defining moment.
So here's the final thought to leave you with. What does this Rollins-Heyman alliance actually mean long-term? How does this change things for Rollins, for Reigns, for Punk going forward?
And maybe more intriguingly, what kind of deal did Rollins make? What leverage does he have over Heyman now, or vice versa, given Heyman's track record?
Right. That's the really juicy question, isn't it? Lots to think about. Maybe go back, watch the match again with all this in mind.
Definitely worth doing. And keep exploring, see what other analyses are out there, continue the dive.
Great stuff.